usually don't get nervous speaking in front of people, but when we were singing that song, You're Worthy of It All, I was just thinking about, what I'm about to share. This is just, it's a cool testimony. Jesus is awesome. So, he really is. And I don't know how many of you here were last week, but just hearing Sal and Renee, it's just real encouraging. These guys they're getting it done. They're it's not everything's easy. And that's the thing, they testify it's Jesus, but, they don't quit. And that's what it's about. So I was real encouraged by them last week. And so anyways, a lot of you guys might know me, and I've shared a lot of stories. I've been up in the oil field, seen people get healed, just people, Jesus, everything. It's awesome. And I just got one of these. I've probably prayed for well over 1,000 people. Of that, many of them I've seen healed. And this little GoPro. So I started carrying this around with me. This is my first video. And so, it's pretty rough, but, the film, but, one of the things that, if you do know me, Jesus, he prayed for people, they got healed, he told his disciples to do it, he just told them, go heal the sick, kind of the arbitrary, like maybe he does, I've never really kind of agreed with that. I've not seen people healed, I've seen people healed, but one of the things when we were singing that song that made me nervous was just, a lot of times I feel like when we see stuff like this, this is Jesus. This is not me. It's it's not. And that's the thing about them. They realize it's. They've just said yes to Jesus. That's what it is, and they don't quit. And God works through them. It says in Mark that we lay our hands on the sick, and they be healed. And he says, they went out preaching, and he confirmed the word with signs and wonders. So we're co-workers with him. It's about Jesus, and so. One thing that I really want, that I was feeling there is just, this is not about, Ryan's special, it has nothing to do with that. We're all supposed to have, this is about Jesus. This should be your story too. That's right. So that, anyways, I just wanted to preface this with that. So, to the story. So, I sell things on Amazon. I manufacture my own stuff. I buy wholesale stuff, and then I will go on Craigslist and find things to go buy and resell. So about 2 months ago, I found this guy had a pretty bad ad, just like no pictures, no nothing, said cars for sale, like these little toy cars. And so I texted him, and it wasn't until about a month later that we actually met up because he had been sick. And so, anyways, I drove out to Thurmont to check out this collection to just see if I could buy and sell it. And while I was there, he didn't have it all out like that. And there was like this thing going on with Amazon. Basically, I wasn't able to sell it just because they had some rule or restriction. So what I did for him was I basically laid it all out real nice like that. I took a video of the cars, took some pictures and all that stuff. And this guy was really struggling. He's, they weren't doing too well off. He couldn't work. His heart was pumping 12%. And the doctors pretty much told him, at least what he said to me, he said, I have a 12% chance of living. I don't know how accurate that is, but that's what he told me. And he had broke his back 5 vertebrae about a couple years back, and his health insurance wouldn't cover for an MRI. So when he went to the surgeon, he wouldn't do any work because they didn't have the scan. And so basically, it's messed up his back, and it's been in real bad pain ever since. And you'll see he took pretty bad pain medication, but he didn't like taking it because he said it made him loopy. And so that this morning he actually didn't happen to take it, so his back was fully going. So so while I was there, I didn't feel like a voice. I didn't. There wasn't like it was just the guy was hurting, and I was there. And that's the thing. We're Christians. We're there, and we do something, and he works for us. I am so normal. Like, these guys are so normal, and Jesus works with them. That's the thing. And so I was just there, and I did what he said. I laid hands, and I was like, can I pray for you? And I prayed for this guy, and he was on his couch, and he gets up, and he looks all like real slow, and there's no more pain. And I'm just freaked out. And so, it was exciting. And so, I was, pretty much like, Raw was like, do you think we could get this on interview and I could like show people? Just, it's not about me. It's just, this is encouraging, because this is what Christians can do. And so, it's what Jesus can do. And so, anyways, I interviewed him, and it's like about 2 minutes. And then when I left, he still walked funny after this first video, but his back was no more pain. And his son was there. Like, these guys are tough. It's been tough. The son drove a tractor, did lawn work, and their tractor was breaking down, their cars were breaking down, everything was hurt. They were heavily addicted to nicotine, daily, all day, and it's just tearing up their life. And the guy was depressed and basically like, just didn't really have any hope to live and didn't want to go on. And so anyways, it was awesome what happened. And, he wrote me some messages after I left. It was cool. And so at the end of the day, right before I walked out, he still had that weird thing. And I asked him, I said, is one of your legs longer than the other, or, shorter than the other? And he said he didn't know. And I had him sit down on the chair, and we pulled his legs and held them out like this. And his son came out from the back, because the first time he was smoking, and he wasn't out with us when I prayed for his back. His son's like 30 or 40, or like probably like 35. And probably older than that, actually. But anyways, his son comes out, and I'm holding his legs on this chair, and now everybody's watching. I have the interview on both of these on video, so you'll see it. And I prayed for his legs, and there's, in Jesus' name, leg, straighten out. And they're all watching, and the leg just goes, and then I interview him. And it's crazy. I wish I had the whole thing on video. I will have more testimonies on video, but this is like my very first time filming anything. So anyways, go ahead. I do have the video on just MP4. That works. Right, we could just play that. This is the PowerPoint. He said 1 minute. Mark? Okay, yeah, there's a 400 megabyte file in that folder.
Yep.
That's okay. Yeah, that's just this one.
Is that a Christmas tree up?
He said I know. I had a feeling you guys would look at that, because I was thinking that too. And he said he kept it up all year round to think about God. That's why he said he had it up. And the Facebook post I had actually shows the date of the posting in July, in case anybody was skeptical. I'm sure most of you aren't, but this did just happen, like a few weeks ago. So he had that tree up year round.
I can tell he's a real NASCAR fan, keeping the Christmas lights up.
What's the religious connotation for pink flamingos in the front yard?
And
constant pain.
yeah, and you said you took stuff for it and made
Yeah, I take pain medications,
Mhm.
specifically for my back.
And this morning when I came in, it was hurting, or
Yeah,
it was? You take any pain medication today?
no, not the pain.
Yeah. And so, does it ever go away, or is it usually there without medication? Does it ever go away?
Pretty much there all the time.
Mm-hmm. And so I just prayed for it, and what happened?
Seemed like something went through me.
Mm-hmm.
And I stood up, and normally it's very painful.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like it went away.
Yeah.
I've been smiling ever since.
Awesome. Yeah. Amen. Jesus. Amen. Awesome. Do you mind? Can we stand up one more time to see? How's it feel when you move it around? Or?
Oh my goodness. I still walk.
Mm-hmm. But the pain is.
There's no pain.
Awesome.
I don't like taking my pain meds because they make me a little bit loopy.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Awesome. All right.
I got chills when you do that.
Yeah. Good deal.
Which is like, it's kind of scary, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah. Amen.
You're an exceptional person.
Good deal.
Rare.
So, amen. It's Jesus. So awesome.
That's why you
That's
have to cry.
yeah. It's Jesus. It's not. Yeah. That's great. Good deal. Good deal. So yeah, we're selling the NASCAR collection. So that's what we got going on. Other than that too. So cool.
There's
Yeah,
one
praise
more
God.
40-second video of the leg thing, so that's like
So good deal. It's Jesus. It is. It will. Good deal. All right.
Hey, you got the Christmas tree in July, celebrating all year long.
while he's getting it up, he wrote me a lot of text messages. Like he wrote this poem, all this stuff about it.
You need to get him down there.
Yeah, he wrote me all these different text messages. I'm not gonna read them all. Real quick, what just
Go ahead.
happened right there when you were sitting down? Is right there.
My left leg extended by itself. I was completely limp, and it just moved about a quarter to 3/8 of an inch. And I don't believe it that it happened, but it did. It honestly did.
Yeah, awesome.
So,
And his son also saw it. So yeah.
and I was not doing anything.
And I'm not prompting you guys to say anything.
No.
Okay. So
And I was totally inert, and it just moved by itself.
awesome.
And I got chills when it happened.
Praise God. Amen.
Amen.
Good deal. And he wrote one quick message. He said, he wrote a bunch, but the last thing he wrote, like a few days later, and I've been staying in touch with him, probably go back to his house this week. He said, "Hey Ryan, just a quick note to let you, by the way," he told me he had been really depressed up until that point in time. And when I left there, he just said it was gone. He just said it wasn't feeling depressed. He said, "Hey Ryan, just a quick note to let you know that I'm at peace now since your visit on Wednesday. I feel so much better to realize I have you and Jesus looking over me. My back is even better, and my constant state of dither and worry is now gone. Wow. Thanks again, Ray." Woo. So
Bring him down.
I like my constant state of dither. You gotta love that. Too wild. Well, isn't Jesus wonderful? Don't you just adore him? Don't